What's up everyone, this is Gary from ADO. Today we're going to be having a look at how you can create your own planting pots with seeds to grow some sunflowers and Borlotti beans. In your pack you will have a pot, you will have a saucer to put underneath so that the water doesn't go everywhere, you will have some seeds. We're going to be using sunflower seeds and Borlotti bean seeds. Borlotti beans are a little bit like baked beans. And then you're going to have a bag. And inside this bag, we got some beautiful, lovely soil. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how you get the soil out of the bag that's been delivered into the pot. Now there's quite an easy way of doing that without getting too much of a mess, but if you will get a bit messy, then it's probably best to do it on a surface that can be cleaned at home. The first thing I'm going to do is get the bag and I'm going to scrunch it up with my hand, and then I'm going to support it with my other hand, and then I'm going to put the end of the bag all the way in to the pot, and then I'm going to slowly hold the bottom of the bag and gently hold the pot, give the bag a little shake, and there we have your pot full of soil. Now as you can see, I did make a bit of a mess, so always ensure that when you are doing it at home that you do it at a place where the mess is not going to make too much of a problem. Smooth it out so it's all nice and level on top, and now we're ready to plant the seed. So this is what your sunflower seeds are going to look like. Hard to believe that these tiny little seeds can grow very, very tall when they're finally finished. And these are your Borlotti beans. Now technically they're not really seeds, but they still grow like seeds. They are actually the beans from a Borlotti plant. And they're the most amazing colours and variations of a seed that you're likely to see. Okay, so first off we're going to plant the sunflower seed. So you won't actually have a packet of seeds coming your way, but you will have a seed ready to go into your pot. Now all we have to do, and it doesn't matter which way up this seed goes, is to make a small hole in the soil with your little finger. So I'm going to put my little finger into the soil, then I'm going to put my seed into the hole that my little finger's made. It doesn't have to be too deep, and then I'm just going to cover it up so that the seed is underneath the soil. Okay, and now we're going to have a go at planting the Borlotti bean using the same technique. Using my little finger, I'm just going to drill a little hole into the soil. Then I'm going to put my bean in the hole, and then I'm just going to cover it up like that. Job done. Right, now the seed is nicely sitting in its soil, it's ready to grow. But it can't grow without a little bit of water. So we're going to put our saucer down, we're going to put our pot on the saucer, and we're going to get some water. Now at home you can use a mug or a cup, anything that holds a little bit of water, and pour some in. Now the amount of water that you pour in doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be enough to make the soil a little bit wet on top. Just so it's wet. You don't have to put too much water in because seeds can't swim. And if you put too much water in, the seeds will go mouldy. So once we put the water in, we can then firm down the soil a little bit, put it back on the saucer, and then find a nice spot, ideally in the garden, in the sun. If you don't have a garden, you can put it on the windowsill in a sunny position, and then hopefully after a few days the sunflower or Borlotti bean will start to grow, and you'll see the first green shoots popping through the soil. Okay, so this is my garden, so I'm going to put the pot in the garden into a nice sunny position and keep checking it every couple of days. You don't have to check it every day, just every couple of days. Make sure it doesn't dry out. So if you touch the soil with your finger or your thumb and it feels damp, then that's right. If it's really soggy, then you put too much water in, and if it's really dry, just give it a little bit more water. One last thing, you might have noticed that the soil was in a plastic bag. Now you know at ADO we hate plastic, which is why this bag is what's called compostable. And that means that it will degrade and it will break down and it will just end up like any other piece of soil. So what you can do is you don't throw it in the bin, you can put it in your food bin. So put it in with your food bin, and then it will go off to the recycling centre and it will degrade and break up all naturally. No horrible plastic anywhere. Okay, so here's a reminder of what we planted. Here are the sunflower seeds. A little bit later you'll see they grow into seedlings. Here's a bunch of seedlings, only a couple of inches, couple of centimetres tall. And finally they grow into these enormous sunflowers, some that can be over 6 foot tall. And now for the Borlotti beans. Remember the bean? Brightly coloured bean grows into this seedling, and then as it gets bigger you're going to need to support it. So you're going to need to tie it to some canes or tie it to some fence if it gets too tall. And there is the Borlotti beans growing in their long red pods. Now you can continue to grow all these at home, or if you want you can bring them into ADO and we can plant them in our garden so that you can keep an eye on them next time you come.